Hello, my dear students! Здравствуйте, мои дорогие студенты! I'm happy to see you again here on my YouTube channel where you can learn Russian language. And today I would like to talk about summer in Russian language. And this is gonna be a grammatical lesson. Today we will learn some Russian grammar. So, how to say summer in Russian? I bet that many of you already know this word, and this is a short Russian word лето. Лето. And already here we have something interesting to discuss. Лето, we write O in the end, but nobody, there is no Russian person who would say лето. Why? Why do we write O, but we say A? That's very easy. In Russian language we have our famous Russian reduction, and it works very logically. So if you have O in unstressed position without stress, like in this word лето, the stress is on the first syllable, on ye, лето. So in this position, when O is unstressed, you should pronounce it like A. That's why we say лето instead of лето. I hope that's clear. And another thing, we start from the very basics and we go up to more difficult things. So лето, it is neuter gender in Russian. Why? Because it finishes with that famous O. Yeah. Next thing that we need to discuss is Russian cases. I think that many of you already know that in Russian language we have 6 cases: nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, instrumental, and prepositional. So, лето, it is nominative case, the case number 1, the basic case. So if you open any Russian dictionary, you will see all the nouns exactly in the nominative case. Yeah? Лето. Now I will decline this word. I will give you the full declension of the word лето in Russian language, but also I will give you examples, because I think that just a grammatical chart doesn't help you to speak, yeah? If you agree, just write me this in comments. And by the way, many thanks to everybody, to all who support my channel right now. Many thanks to you, many thanks to all the people who sent me donations before. And yeah, you know that right now I do not have any income from YouTube, like 0 rubles, 0 euros, like absolutely 0. So I can make these Russian lessons for you only if you support my channel. There are only 2 parts why I still continue teaching you Russian. This is my personal enthusiasm, because I love to teach Russian to foreigners, and this is your support. Without these 2 things, I would never film any Russian lessons for you. Many thanks, and let's continue. So, I will make an example after each declinated form. So now let's make an example of the word лето in the nominative case. And the example here would be наконец-то наступило лето. Наконец-то наступило лето. So why did we use nominative here? In this Russian sentence, we used nominative case here because лето is a subject. Normally, 99%, if the word plays a role of a subject in the sentence, you need to use nominative case. Now let's move on to the case number 2, and this is genitive case. Лето, лето. And the example here would be «Я не могу жить в холодной стране, где нет лета». Я не могу жить в холодной стране, где нет лета. Here we used genitive case because of the negation. If you use this negative construction in Russian when something is not here or it doesn't exist, yeah, you need to use нет plus genitive case. Нет лета. You see that Russian cases, they work in two directions. The first direction is that you need to look at the surrounding of the word, yeah, and you need to understand the role that this word plays in a Russian sentence. And another thing that is very important, you need to change the ending. That's it. Next word, not next word, next example is dative case, the case number 3, and the form here would be лету, лету, yeah? You see that we changed the ending again. And the example here would be москвичи радуются лету. Москвичи радуются лету. Why did we use dative here? Because of the verb радуются. After радуются, when you see this verb, радуются, you think, oh, okay, after this verb, I need to use dative case. There are some verbs that require some specific case after them. Радуется wants to see after it only dative case. Москвичи радуются лету. Okay, now let's talk about the one of the easiest cases in Russian language that foreigners actually love to use, and this is the case number 4, accusative case. And лето is not animate, it is not alive, it answers the question what, что. That's why accusative case inanimate and nominative case inanimate in Russian language, they are totally the same, no difference. So you can say я обожаю лето, потому что можно долго гулять. Я обожаю лето, потому что можно долго гулять. So here we used accusative case, but why accusative? Because after люблю you need to use accusative, you need to use object, and if you talk about direct object in Russian language, you need to use accusative. Now let's talk about the case number 5, and this is instrumental case. Yeah, let me make an example. This is very easy. When you talk about seasons in Russian language, for example, in summer, something blah 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 happens, you can say летом, летом. That's how instrumental case looks in Russian language. And forget about prepositions. No preposition here, just летом. You only change the ending. So the example here would be летом можно загорать и плавать в море. Летом можно загорать и плавать в море. Yeah, so if you talk about the time, and if you talk about specifically the season, you need to use instrumental case. This is very tricky because if you talk about months, for example, you need to use prepositional case в сентябре, in September, and yeah, there are many different difficulties here, but I will talk about them in another video. And the last case for today, in general, the last case in Russian language is prepositional case, the case number 6. And normally this case is associated with a place, with location. For example, you can say "Я работаю в офисе." Yeah, this is prepositional, classical prepositional case in Russian language, but also we use prepositional case in many other different situations in Russian. For example, if you want to say about something, about someone, about, yeah, after this verb, not verb, sorry, preposition, after this preposition about, in Russian there's o, but we pronounce it as a, because this in unstressed position, all the prepositions in Russian, they are not individual separated words. They go together with the following word. So normally they do not have a very strong stress on them. That's why, due to Russian reduction, or this preposition we pronounce like a. And after this preposition you need to use prepositional case. Here is the example. Зимой я мечтаю о лете. Зимой я мечтаю о лете. That's it. Another interesting thing that лето in Russian language has singular form and plural form too, but they are a little bit different. So if you talk about singular form, you talk about season, a summer, and if you use plural form, you speak more about age and years, yeah? Okay, next thing that I wanted to say is that in Russian language we have a little bit different system than you do have in English. For example, you can say this is a nice summer day, or this is a beautiful summer weather, something like that. And you do not change the word summer. You love noun plus noun constructions in English, right? But in Russian, noun plus noun constructions are not natural. Russian people do not say something like that. So if you want to say a summer day, you need to change this word, and you need to transform it, summer, in an adjective in Russian. So the noun, you already know the full declination, and if you want to say something like adjective, you need to say летний, летний. You can say сегодня чудесный, жаркий летний день. Сегодня чудесный, жаркий летний день. It's a wonderful, hot summer day. Nobody in Russia would say сегодня чудесный, жаркий лето день. I'm not even sure that Russian people would understand you from the very beginning. What you mean, лето день? What's that? I mean, I'm a Russian teacher, and I learn English for a long time. So I know that in English you love noun plus noun constructions, but in general, if you speak to an ordinary Russian people who maybe doesn't know English well, and he is not a Russian teacher who teaches Russian to foreigners, he, I think, would not even understand you. What do you mean, лето день? What is лето день? Nobody knows, yeah? So, and of course, летний, I mean this adjective form, it has the full declination, yeah? So летний день, masculine form, nominative case, then летняя погода, or летняя коллекция одежды, feminine form, Летнее платье. Летнее платье. Neuter. Летние босоножки. Летние босоножки. Yeah? Plural form. So, and of course, we have the full diversity of Russian cases. Yeah, all these 6 cases will be here. Thanks for watching. Many thanks for your support. And I would love to ask you to write me a comment, whatever you think about this video, Russian lesson, but please, I delete all the political comments that somebody writes because I don't like this topic nowadays. Увидимся скоро. Пока-пока. Bye-bye.